Hey everybody, welcome back to another SAT video. This is from the 2024 Practice Bundle 6, Module 2 of the Math section. Line K is defined by y equals 7x plus 1/8. Line J is perpendicular to line K in the xy plane. What is the slope of line J? So this is a very simple question actually, because you don't even really need to do that much math for it. The key here is that line J is perpendicular, right? So what does that mean, right? What do we know about perpendicular lines, right? Well, when two lines are perpendicular, right, they will have basically they'll have a right angle, right? So we can say we have two lines on the xy plane. Maybe we have one line like this, and then perpendicular means we have another line that intersects it at a right angle, right? So notice this line, right? If we have our, our x increasing over here, and then our y increasing over here, right? Just being a little lazy while drawing. Usually I don't draw the arrows like this, but you can imagine that our numbers are increasing in this direction, and the x's decrease in this direction. Similarly, y increases as you go up, and then you have like your negatives as you go down, right? Um, Something like that, right? So what we notice is this one is increasing, right? It's increasing at the same rate as this one is decreasing, right? So what is the relationship between their slopes, right? So basically, as the slope of this first line increases, this second line pretty much decreases at the same rate, right? So we can imagine like this distance is the same as this distance down here. This distance is the same as like this distance down here. My graph might not be super drawn to scale, but like in practice, the distances, would be pretty much the same, right? Graphically speaking. So in terms of the slope, right, when you have a perpendicular line, two perpendicular lines, the one line will have a slope of m, and then the other would have a slope of 1 over minus m, right? At the same rate, this line rises and overruns. This line will rise overrun, but in the opposite direction, right? So their rise overrun is pretty much flipped and opposite. So that's the relationship for perpendicular lines. Very important to remember because you'll be applying it a lot in your SAT, right? So first thing we got to do now that we know what the relationship between the slopes of perpendicular lines are, we need to find the slope of this line, right? So notice this line is in a special form. That special form is called slope-intercept form, which is called y equals mx plus b, or written as y equals mx plus b, where b is our y-intercept, and m right here, that is our slope. So we know that the slope is always attached to the x term, right? So our slope of j, line j, will be 7, right? Just kidding, that was a test. Remember, it's a perpendicular line, right? So we need to find 1 over the slope and the opposite, right? So 1 over 7 is basically just 1 over 7, right? Or like the, the inverse of 7, right? It's going to be 1 over 7. And then we just find the negative, right? So there you go. That is the answer B right there. So pretty simple question. The main concept here to know is that when you have two perpendicular lines, the slope is going to be the slope of perpendicular line 1 is going to be the inverse or the flipped rise over run, and then the opposite sign. And then just for your knowledge sake, when you have parallel lines, the slope is going to be equal to each other, right? So those are two line relationships that will be very useful to know when you have linear lines. Perpendicular is opposite inverse slopes, parallel, same slopes. So hopefully this video was beneficial to you. If there are any ways that I can improve the content, please let me know. As always, check out Khan Academy. The link is in the description below. A lot of great resources if you want to self-study for the SAT and or any other subject. As always, thank you for watching.